Hey, everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and we're back with another great edition of Pots and Shots. And I have with me today again Jake Jacoby of TELCLOUD. Jake, thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Doug. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So, in our Pots and Shots series, we're exploring two things. We're exploring the exciting news about the migration away from copper, why this is a very vital issue for everybody to understand. It's also a tremendous opportunity, a great way to extend your role as that trusted advisor. We're also taking a deep dive and a great exploration into the greatest tequilas ever made that are also available. So, two things. We're going to get to the shots part later. Now, let's dive into the pots. Today, we're talking about selling the service and not the infrastructure. And we're going to be talking about the way TELCLOUD encourages partners to start with a fully managed model. But before we dive into that, real quick, Jake, just explain the copper crisis or the copper migration issue just for a second.
Yeah, so we're talking about the discontinuation or the end of or analog phone lines, which are also known as POTS lines, plain old telephone service. And so all copper in the United States is going away. It's actually copper lines globally are going away. There's over 1 billion lines that will be discontinued over the next several years. And so first they were deregulated in 2019, which means that the price could change because it was a utility. And so the price has gone up, and then eventually the carriers are investing in wireless spectrum. They were in 4G, now 5G, and eventually 6G, and then also obviously fiber. So they no longer want to maintain. It just doesn't financially make sense to maintain the copper infrastructure. So it's being shut down. That will then affect the phone lines that have been used for typically life safety, like fire alarm lines, elevators, modems, fax machines, blue light emergency phones. And so that legacy equipment, just because the phone lines are going down, doesn't mean that legacy equipment doesn't still need to work. So it does, and it requires a copper phone line replacement. So that's the business we're in. The TELCLOUD is a channel partner. We are channel focused. We don't sell direct. We work with channel partners to bring the solution to the customers, whether it's working with our back end to provide that to our reseller partners, where they license and buy at wholesale our back end and then bring that to the customers, or a full service where they need us to do everything with their brand, and they're still that trusted advisor. So that's the business we're in. We're going to talk a little bit about the billing side of that, but yeah.
Well, you just mentioned it because we've talked about equipment, we've talked about compliance, we've talked about the law, we've talked about a lot of different things, infrastructure, format, platforms, and so on. And billing is almost sometimes an afterthought in our industry, right? And yet it's the point at which sometimes the best deals and all this other stuff falls completely apart. So why is billing on behalf on behalf of such a critical part of TELCLOUD's business model?
Yeah, it's interesting. So in this business, because it is, these are phone lines, right?
Yep.
It's regulated. It's regulated by the FCC. So a lot of times we talk about this business. We even find a trusted advisor that's like, oh, very excited. I sell all kinds of wireless data, things like that. And they're very excited to get into this. And they're like, yeah, we'll just sell it to us and we'll mark it up and we're going to make money and things like that. I'm like, that is absolutely fine. However, you have to remember that you have to be a registered telco in order to do this. What that means is that you have to be it's called a 499 filer. So you have to be registered as a telco, registered with the FCC. So that's the first part. You can't sell it unless you do that. The second part is you have to have a tax engine and a billing engine that actually calculates the taxes correctly, right? And so the engine has to be smart enough to know what type of service, where exactly it's being delivered, because that the federal and the state and local taxes all have to be calculated correctly. They also have to be collected. They have to be paid to the appropriate account. So there's a lot in this telco billing. It's very expensive unless really it's expensive regardless, but it only makes sense if you do it at scale. So that said, we have reseller partners that are very excited. They're like, yeah, we're going to do this. And we're like, okay, well, do you understand this side of the business? And if they don't, or they are not a 499 filer, that's okay. We have a billing entity. We are the registered telco, and that's where we move to more of the full service. Just let us do it for you. We are a registered telco. We're a global telco, and we can do all of that for you, keep you compliant. The last thing you want to do is, get your taxes wrong, or do something that the FCC doesn't want you to do, or do
Right.
something that's not right. Right. So we have a whole team. We have a legal team. We have a CPA team. We have a tax team. And so we do all that. Now, just like the big boys do, like any of the big, large carriers, right? We all have to do it. We all have to report. And so TELCLOUD can take care of all that, and just, you don't have to worry about it. So regardless, right? We have at TELCLOUD, we have the ability to do full service, meaning even the billing, even that, like that nuance, you don't have to worry about that. We'll take care of it for you. Or if you are already in that business, right? If you're already a registered telco, we have hundreds of those type of customers, then you can do the billing. That's fine, because you already understand, you're already registered. And so that's available as well. You don't have to have us do the billing, but it is available to make it easy. So think of it as the easy button for selling these type of services.
So that easy button, when you push it, that covers your compliance, that covers your white label billing. So you are preserving your relationship with your customer. And it sounds to me like what I think I'm hearing is it preserves your ability to introduce your own stuff
Yeah,
over time as well. Is that right?
absolutely. So again, like we talked in past episodes, this is, you still are that trusted advisor. You have that relationship directly with your customer. We do not want to break that. We want to support that 1000%, right? So that still happens, but we want to make sure that you're billing compliant, right? In a compliant way. So so we take care of that. We do all that for you, and it's all included.
So if I'm coming from this, there you have people coming walking in the door that are totally used to selling services, but then you have other people, that's not what we do. You can
So
help
yeah,
them. You can help the guy that
we,
says, "Hey, I
we
never sell service."
we can totally help either way, right? So again, we encourage you to reach out to us, have a conversation. Let's figure out what the opportunity is. Let's discuss a little bit about your customers, how we can help them, how we can help you help them, and then we'll figure out the best way to keep you compliant, to maximize your revenue, and still deliver the best service to your customers to meet those needs.
Jake, it's shots time.
Shots
So
time, yeah.
we're shots time. We're taking our tour through the world's best tequilas. No drinking these tequilas in a margarita, by the way. These are sipping tequilas. So what do you have for us today?
So today, again, like, if you don't know by now, I like tequila. And again, let's not, for like, we call it shots, but it's really not shots. These are all sipping tequilas, the best in the world. But today I have a very special tequila. It was introduced to me by a friend of TELCLOUD, a friend of mine. His name's Rob Bridges. He's on the East Coast. And he said, "Hey, Jake, have you ever had cenote?" And I'm like, "No." And so I've never heard of it. And so we were at a restaurant, brought it out. Fantastic reposado tequila. So sipping tequila. It's called cenote. It looks like it's a beautiful bottle, right? It's got looks like this, but if you see that, and I love it. Absolutely love it. He was 100% right. This is a fantastic tequila. So we had it at lunch. Sipping tequila. If you see cenote, or if you can find it online, definitely pick up a bottle. It's not that expensive, but it's really high quality, made the traditional way. And it's a fantastic tequila. So thank you, Rob. Appreciate it. Shout out to you. And we'll have this at channel partners as well.
Hey, before we wrap up today, I'm loving the idea that you introduced a modestly priced tequila, because that tells me that I think you started when we started this series. You said you needn't spend a lot of money to get a quality product.
That's right. Yeah. So a lot of these really good tequilas are just not well known. They make them the traditional way, and when they do that, they put a lot of heart and soul and love into it, right? And so because they really love what they're doing and their product, and it's fantastic products, right? So definitely, they've got different ways that they do it, different ways that they age these things, different types of barrels. Everybody is kind of taking their own spin on it. It's kind of like our business, right? Kind of like our resellers. We have the back end. It's the same on the back end, but everybody puts their own kind of spin on how they deliver it, right? Some are the telcos, some need us to do the whole thing, but same with tequilas. They're putting their own spin on it. You get a lot of great little flavors, different flavors, and I encourage you to to taste them. Just they're sipping tequilas. They're great, and find out what you like, right? And we'll like I said, we're going to be at Channel Partners this year. We're at the Palazzo. We have a suite at the Palazzo. We'd love to see you. Love to schedule time with you. We're going to have these tequilas there so you can taste them, and pick your favorite or three.
All right. Well, I'm going to be there, and I'm looking forward to enjoying a sipping
Yes.
experience. So sipping experience, TELCLOUD experience, pots and shots. If you haven't listened to some of these other podcasts, we have a whole series, a whole library of these. Gives you great ideas. It's a tremendous opportunity, a great opening, and an important thing to share with your enterprise customers in 2026. Jake, where can we learn more about TELCLOUD?
Yeah, please reach out to us or on our website at telcloud.com, or you can give us a call at 844-900-2270. Look forward to talking to you.
Jake, I'm looking forward to next time, but for now, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it.